everybody. Welcome to today's Jersey Baseball Show. As you can see, we are expanded well beyond the New Jersey border today. We're just the baseball show. We're here with Max Clark, the top high school player in the country in the class of 2023, coming to us, Franklin, Indiana native. He's down in Florida on vacation, getting ready to start his high school season, and super appreciative that you came, dropped by the show, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited. A good little vacay podcast, so I'm excited.
So you got the family vacation in. You're getting ready to go home, start the season with your boys, and kind of the vibe that this could be a special season for Franklin, right? These are guys that you played with, like literally. We were saying this is kind of like if Hoosiers had a baseball version, this is what we're talking about here.
100%. We grew up. I started with them when I was 5 and they were 6. Jace Fowler's dad, Chad Fowler, has been basically my second dad throughout baseball. He had a kind of a vision and an idea, and in 2011, I believe, he had a house fire. And instead of using the insurance money to rebuild his house, he actually moved in with his parents, built a baseball field in his backyard, and opened a powerhouse facility. And that's kind of where it all started. So since then, we had the baseball field in the backyard, and that's where we were from like 5 to 7U. And then in 7U, he officially opened his first training facility, which was 2,800 square feet. We used mattress pads to protect us from the metal poles that were in the middle of the warehouse. And then from there, he upscaled from 2,800 to I think it was 9,000. It was either 9,000 or 10,000 square feet. And then that was the second one that opened in 2017. And that was about the time that we all separated from Powerhouse. So from 5 to 7, we were at the field, and then 7 to 12, we all played together for Powerhouse. And then in 13U, that's when he kind of lets everyone go. And that's when we go find our other options. So I went to the Bulls. Jace went to Midwest Canes. I had a couple of buddies that stayed with Powerhouse. And then I had one buddy who went to BAM. And from there, when we were 16, so COVID, he actually renovated and started moving everything from this 10,000 square foot warehouse to the warehouse right next door, which is 36,000 square feet. So he is nearly quadrupled size in 4 years. And from then, we just spend every single day after school working out as friends. It's been the same 6 core guys ever since we were 6 years old. I would say that we have one of the best kind of brotherhood, friendship type bonds that most high school teams don't have. I mean, obviously you have your group of friends here and there, and you have like 1 or 2 guys that you're extra close with, but these 6 of us, we're considered the core guys, and we've kind of been going at it since we were 6 years old. So this season's going to be special. It's their last year. It's their senior year. Mm-hmm. And all 6 of us actually are gifted with the chance to go play college baseball. So Chad has gotten to watch all of us grow up as people, as players, as family people, everything. So it's been like really, really special just to watch this whole group kind of go from 6 years old and playing T-ball to high school and future college athletes. I'm definitely excited. It's going to be a great season. Last year we were 20-9. We fell short to the number 2 team in the state in sectionals in 9 innings, 5-4. I think this year it's definitely going to be way closer than that, and I don't even know how much closer you can get than that.
Yeah, right.
But this is going to be one of the most energetic, most exciting, and most fun seasons of baseball I've had, especially in the high school level.
So what's it meant, obviously, to you, because you've gone all over the country. You've played in front of, huge crowds, pro scouts, obviously every sort of big event that you can, to have this core at home, that's always going to be there, always going to be supporting, no matter what, love or hate is going on with you at a national level. You've always got this group at home. What's that mean?
And that's everything to me. Obviously, there are some things that you can't get in summer ball that you can get in high school, and vice versa. I mean, it's super cool to travel around the country to play in front of these massive scouts, in front of these huge crowds. You know what I mean? Like WWBA, that's an experience that you can't get at high school.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I like high school ball more, especially from like a friendship, energy, bond side. Obviously, the competition in summer ball is different. Like every single day, you're facing dudes that are throwing 92. But in high school ball, you're working out with friends every single day after school. You're becoming even closer than you already were. And like you said, at the end of the day, you have somebody to come back to and hold you accountable. I know that all six of us have each other's backs, and I also know that all six of us would tell each other when we stepped out of line. We're never really afraid to bring someone up, and we're never really afraid to just be like, hey man, like you got to do this better, or you need to work on this, or let's not do that, for example. We've definitely had a few of those moments throughout this 12-year surge of baseball. But it's definitely special. There's nothing like playing in front of your hometown. There's nothing like playing in front of your home friends. And honestly, I had to learn that the hard way last year. I mean, first high school scrimmage, I was 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts, and on the mound, I hit 2 kids and walked 2. Like, there was just a different type of pressure, but it was also just a different type of vibe. And now this year, like, I love it. And I started to love it during half or like a third of the way through the season last year. I definitely had to get used to it because it is different, but it is something that will never be forgotten. And it is definitely like the best feeling ever. I'm very excited to play in front of my hometown again. I'm very excited to play with this group of guys again. And I mean, I want to make this a special season for all of us involved, especially this being their last one.
Tell us what Franklin in Indiana is like. On the East Coast, we kind of, for a lot of people, their perception is based on like these movies, and it's like people wouldn't know whether it's Franklin or Old Hickory High School or Indianapolis. It's like, but what's it like as far as the community support of these teams? I mean, I've gone on a little bit and see obviously everybody's really into it, really involved, but as far as a hometown, I mean, what are we looking at with Franklin?
So Franklin's a smaller city, a bigger town, but it is also everybody knows everybody type of town. It covers a lot of area, and it's kind of country, kind of city. It has a little bit of everything. I would say that the community that we have backing us, and not just us, all sports at Franklin, is a special type of community. We have very good people here at Franklin. We all want to see each other win, and we all want to see other people do great things for themselves, because at the end of the day, it comes back to the city. I think that Franklin is one of the most supportive towns that I've been through. And we had a girls' state, our girls' basketball team went to state, and we had 5,000 people there. When every time that somebody wins sectionals, somebody wins regionals, etc., we have a huge parade downtown. Everybody from Franklin comes and just stands along. I mean, you don't see that in a lot of other cities. Like, they may have the parades, but they don't have the type of people that we have that will come out after a game, or people who didn't go to the game and come out and support the people. I would say the support at Franklin and just the people at Franklin are so good about pushing people to be better and kind of just working out as a city that you just don't get at other places. I would say that we are very fortunate to have the support that we do, and it is definitely a special feeling that I love. I know last year at our sectional game, we had 3,800 people there. Like, it's a high school sectional in Indiana. You just don't see that. To know that there are that many people supporting our school, myself, my teammates, our coaches, families, everything, that's a really, really special feeling. So at the end of the day, it is a really big family, and it's special.
Yep. So we said, and most people watching this know, obviously top ranked player in the 2023 high school class in the country. At what point along the road did this kind of become like a national thing? When did we go from Max Clark playing in the warehouse with his friends in the local leagues, and all of a sudden blow up, and now all of a sudden you're on these ranking lists, and what did that do to you mentally?
So when I was 13, that's when I switched over to the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought on in the 12U like fall, so before we went to 13U, to do like the PBR Juniors Futures games. And that was my first experience of kind of a national stage. Obviously, there weren't rankings at that time. Like, there was nothing out of proportion yet.
Right.
but I was brought on for that team to be a PO, and I actually did not hit very much for them. So then I ended up playing for the Bulls for that summer, and that's when everything took off. In 13U, I put up some ridiculous numbers, uh, video game type average. Like it was crazy. It was definitely like it was a more surreal moment of my career. I had local colleges started reaching out, like Indiana University, Purdue University, Ball State, some of the bigger schools in Indiana. Those are Big Ten MAC schools that are really, really good.
I was going to
And
say, when you're talking local schools, that's, that
yeah,
was
you
like
got like Power
Indiana
Five.
was in the World Series not too long ago.
Yeah,
It's
Power Five from Indiana.
yeah.
So I hit 8th grade, and that's when the rankings started coming out. So they hadn't done a national yet, but I just got named the number one player in Indiana. From the initial rankings, I was the number one player, and then everything started kind of flooding in. I would start getting camp invites to SEC schools, ACC schools, Pac-12, and that's when I kind of realized, okay, I can make this something more than a high school journey. So then I get through college recruiting. I committed my freshman year after going to a couple camps at Vanderbilt. Met the coaches, went on campus. Time of my life, definitely where I want to be. So then I went to Jupiter my freshman year, and absolutely, like, I went crazy. I hit 400. I was on base 50% of the time, and I was a freshman playing against draft class draft class juniors. So I can remember coming home from that tournament, and PG just refreshed their national rankings, and I look at my phone and I was 7th nationally. Well, prior to that, I was like 35th or something like that, like really, really good, like top 1%, but it wasn't 0.01%. So then
Right.
I come home, Twitter's blowing up, Instagram's blowing up. I'm checking my profile, I'm going crazy. And then agency started rolling around. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay. So sophomore year, that's when everything started getting real from a draft perspective. It was a surreal moment. It was something that I'm blessed and fortunate to have, and it definitely has been a life changer for me. I never had a moment where I was like, yeah, I don't really want to play in college. You know what I mean? Everything just kept going up and up and up, and I just kept going up the scale. Um, like I said, I started in 8th grade, and then it just kept getting, every single time it was like, oh, you got through the college recruiting process. Well, now let's go through the agency process. You got through the agency process. Now let's go through talking to MLB teams. That has been one of the most fortunate events that I've had, and it's an amazing time. For anyone that would like to know what it's like, it's definitely the most fun. It's stressful, it's chaotic, but you'll never get another time like it. It was
Right.
awesome to take my family through it. Definitely as they guided me through it as well. And we were all kind of going in blinded, and that was just super fun. So to say from a mental standpoint, it was the best time of my life. I was having fun playing baseball. I was getting recruited to play baseball, and I was still having fun with my friends at the same time. So to balance it all out, it was amazing.
Yeah. Now, obviously, quick doing the math here. 15 months from now, it could become an apparently obvious decision one way or the other. But you've got the verbal commitment to Vanderbilt. It's not like this is pro ball or else. You don't. You got a pretty darn good opportunity in door number 2 here. You're a 4.2 student. I don't know that everybody knows that obviously academics is important. Is that obviously great program. Is that what set Vanderbilt apart to you?
Like you said, academics were huge for me. My sister went to Duke and Columbia. My brother went to IU and Maurer Law School, and my mom went to IU. So kind of growing up in that academic family, it definitely pushed me to look at schools like that. I would always love Stanford. I always love Vanderbilt, Duke, schools like that. They definitely played a part in my decision. But on top of that, meeting coaches like Coach Baxter and Coach Corbin, they are absolutely classy people, the best
Yeah.
people you will meet, and they are even better coaches on the field. Like the very first day that I stepped on camp with Coach Corbin, we were 35 minutes into the camp, and he had already picked a nickname for me, learned my first name, my last name, where I was from, what position I played, and what bat and throw I was. So, like, to see how much pride they take in learning the small things, that's kind of what I loved about the campus and the team. And then they also had all of their roster there helping. So to kind of interact with all the guys and see what it's like, to see what's it going to be like when I get here. that's what I loved about it. I'm also a diehard country music fan, so Nashville was a pretty easy
I was
choice.
gonna say that.
Um, but
Yeah.
everything just kind of fell into line. It's a dream home. I grew up watching Vanderbilt. Dansby Swanson is one of my favorite players, one of my favorite hitters. So it literally all the stars aligned, and at the end of the day, that was my home.
Yeah. So it's obviously a great place. What was Coach's nickname for you?
Sunshine.
Well, that's yeah.
Yeah, like
I guess
it's a pretty like yeah, that
probably
makes sense.
wasn't the first or last time you heard that one, I'm guessing.
No, not at all.
One of the things that, another thing that stands out, watching you on video or, I guess is your dedication to getting in shape, lifting, the power part of your program. Is that something that really started when these rankings escalated and it kind of went in your mind like this is going to go beyond high school?
So it first started for me when I went, freshman year. So it's about the same timeline. But freshman year, I went and tried out for the 15U United States national team. And so I don't know, for those of you who don't know how USA works, it's by birth year. And I'm a 12/21/04. And so I was playing with 98%, what at that time was sophomore. So the 2022 class. They were way more physically advanced than I was, way bigger, way stronger, way faster, everything. I ended up getting cut from the team, being told I was too small. And that hurt a lot because I definitely had the skill set to play. Like, sure, I wasn't the dude hitting balls out of the Cary National Championship Park at 15, but I was the dude who was hitting 400. So,
right.
Like, it really, really stung to be called that I was too small. So when I came home, I learned as much as I could about it, did as much research, found the right people, and from there, it just became a hobby. So at the time, it was a job, and now it's just like, yeah, I want to go lift. So, like, I'll go and lift if I have something on my mind, if there's something that's going wrong in my life, if I just need to get some stress out, if I'm having a good day and just want to go make my day better. Like, it's no longer a job. It is just fun to go bang metal around in a warehouse with loud music. It's awesome.
And no one's ever said that you're not big enough, strong enough, fast enough since then either, pretty much, right?
Exactly.
Throwing up the 500s and the 515s and pushing it around. So it's
oh yeah,
obviously a credit to you that you handled it, a tough time one of two ways, and you picked the right way, really.
Thank you.
Another thing is just the way you go about and play the game, and really it's come through in everything. Just kind of the passion you have for doing these things that are fun. These just kind of living. Where's that coming from?
So I've always been a flair but not flash kid. I play with a lot of passion. I feel like if you're doing something without passion, then you're not doing it because you want to. You're doing it because you have to. The ability to have passion in the game of baseball is going to keep you in the game as long as possible. You have to have fun because if you get too tight, you get stressed, you're going to fail already. The game's hard enough. You don't need any extra stress coming from your own mind. So to go out there, have a lot of fun, throw on some drip, and just have a great time with a great set of teammates is my favorite part about baseball. I like to play with energy. I love to play with passion, flair, like I said. Just all of it. All of that combined is really, really what makes me love the game. And I feel like you can't play it the way it's supposed to be played without a little bit of flair, without a lot of energy, and without a lot of confidence and things like that. I think that energy and passion are the two main things of what make athletes great. People like to hate on flashiness, but you never see anybody hating on flair. Flair is what separates people from and when you get to the 1%ers, flair will separate you into the 0.01%.
But it's everything, right? It's not just on the field. I mean, I'm sure. Why do I have a feeling that on your trip here, you're on the beach playing volleyball or spike ball or whatever it is, and it's got to be the same way, right?
Oh yeah, there's zero. Like, I am 100% competitive. I do not lose in spike ball. I do not lose in beach volleyball. If we play 7-on-7 football, I'm winning. Like, there's zero room for no competitiveness. I'm always competing. I'm the first one to go to bed. Like that's how big of a competitor I am. But no, I love competing is everything. That's why I love pitching. You and I talked about it. Like pitching by itself is fun, but just the ability to go one-on-one with a batter and just kind of know that I have to beat him, that's a great feeling. Just because it gets you amped, it gets you ready, gets you hyped. I love it.
Three-sport athlete, had to give up basketball, I guess, this year, right? Finally, that probably, I'm guessing, hurt you to have to give that up. But football, you kept with, right? You're wide receiver.
It did. Correct.
Another one-on-one battle every position, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I love receiver. I grew up playing football, come from a football family. It's up there with like how much I love football and how much I love baseball. But there's just, especially in Indiana, that's another thing about Indiana that we haven't talked about. Football in Indiana is crazy, and some of like the student sections and like we said, the community that comes out, it's ridiculous, man, ridiculous. We may not be Georgia or Florida yet, but we're close.
It isn't everything. That's every sport in Indiana. It seems like it's like that. It's
It is.
kind
Basketball
of.
was crazy too.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, they've got movies about that. We already
Yeah,
knew
like,
that.
yeah, that was a given.
Celebrity, I mean, and you may not see yourself as that, but certainly somebody who's recognized. Had its pluses and minuses, I guess, right? I mean, you've had to deal with more people critical or jealous of you than most 17-year-olds have.
Yeah,
Um,
most definitely.
you know, how do you keep kind of that same, not let that outside stuff get to you?
So I had to learn. It wasn't always just kind of
Right.
it wasn't always implanted in my head to not respond to people. But freshman year is when it got really bad. Or actually, I take that back. Sophomore year is when it got really bad. I came back from USA and I put on 37 pounds, I think, 36 pounds in 12 months, if that. It was closer to 11. And that is when the hate comments just started coming in left and right. It was crazy. But like we talked about earlier, that core group was huge because as soon as they'd see somebody would tweet something, they would be the first ones to go and respond. I have an awesome core group of friends, and then parents, coaches, like parents of other players would just dive in on these kids or adults, whoever was making the comments. And that was just having a support group to make sure that I wasn't the one handling it is really what's just kept me straight on. I think that I've kind of had to learn, like, don't read your own press, but I enjoy reading it because I find it hilarious because people have no idea what they're talking about. And I also find it hilarious because it just kind of motivates me to do it even more. Like when people said I was taking like steroids, I mean, they still do, but that just makes me want to get bigger. And I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be a random drug test and I'm going to pass and they're going to be like, oh, well, I guess he's not using steroids. Like, okay, yeah, no, like
And don't
obviously.
worry, they'll find something else at that point. If you're doing
Oh
well.
yeah, they'll go. Yeah, he got an A minus his freshman year in geometry.
It's but you've also found the positive, of having this platform. And I mean, I guess what I wanted to bring up wasn't from a positive situation, out of any respect, but I've told you the first time that I've noticed you beyond, obviously what you have done on the baseball field, is when Ryan Jefferson passed away last year. You took it upon yourself, to put something out about, mental health and the importance of it, and started a GoFundMe for Ryan, his family, his community. You're both from the Midwest. Tell us about that, how it happened, your connection with him, and what you were able to do, and kind of what you've realized sort of as a result that this platform that you have can do for people.
Yeah. So Ryan and we got to know each other in 13U. He is on the Kansas City Sparks and I play for the Indiana Bulls. So we played against each other a multitude of times per summer. We would hang out with each other in groups of friends in between games. If we had an off night and we were all staying at a hotel, he would be hanging out with us. I play with a lot of kids from Chicago on my team who knew him personally. And I'm in a lot of group chats where we would all like chop it up, have a lot of talks with Ryan and just like we were all friends. Ryan and I were not super close, but we were close enough to where it definitely hurt. I know that he had his struggles, and I feel like that needs to be talked about a lot more. Ryan was a incredibly gifted baseball player. He was one of the best shortstops that I have ever seen play in person. And he was also like always the nicest kid on the field. He was always smiling, having fun. And if that doesn't say enough about how serious these issues are, then that needs to be changed. Ryan always seemed to be the kid laughing and talking when we were playing, and like he was still in the situation that he was. I feel like people disregard athletic mental health or even athletes disregard their own mental health because they're athletes and they're supposed to be stressed. And we're always given the norm of being stressed, and everybody's kind of normalized the term depression. It's not normal. It's okay to not be okay. And that needs to be talked about more and more every single day. Obviously, I raised $12,905 and I donated half of it to Providence Christian, and Providence Catholic, and they are all donating that entire fund into hiring professionals to work with kids who may be going through mental struggles or find people who need people to talk to. I was really, really happy that is where the money went. And then the other half went to Bo Jackson, Elite, which is where he worked out, and they will be doing the same thing for athletes that they have. I think it's a serious issue in our world, and people have just kind of normalized it and pushed it away. And it doesn't even just have to be athletes. Like, I feel like normal people go through it too. Or I don't feel like it, I know it. But I just feel like it's like I said, it's a norm now, and that's just not okay.
Yeah, no, we appreciate the words and the thoughts, obviously, and got to get you a couple random questions here before we go.
Awesome.
You already mentioned you're a country music freak, and you're potentially going to Nashville for school. Who's the one concert you got to get to?
So I was blessed enough that Morgan Wallen is coming to Indiana. Now, I know all you diehard country fans are going to make fun of me because Morgan Wallen doesn't really sing country music. He sings like the new modern country, but I still want to see Morgan Wallen in concert. Like, his music is fantastic. When you're kicking it back at a fire with some buddies, when you're driving downtown on the back roads of Indiana, which is everywhere, then the go-to is Morgan Wallen, and that's definitely my go-to. I love Morgan Wallen, but I would also like to see Luke Combs in concert. Would be ridiculous. He was actually in Nashville when I was, but I couldn't get in because it was a bar. He was doing like one of his like one night show up to a bar, perform, and leave, and it was past 10, and that's when like you have to be 21 or over. So I was really upset about that one. Those two definitely my main ones, but I also think Riley Green in concert would be fantastic. His music is real country for all of you that are gonna attack me, but those are definitely my top three. But yeah, I'm excited to go to Morgan Wallen.
Show though, so you're good. I mean, there is no hardcore country. It's Morgan Wallen is dead on with everybody here, I think. So
okay, awesome, right on.
Now the question that goes with it, do you have any musical talent at all? Because you see these athletes coming up on stage at these shows, you could see it happening someday. You're going to get up there and it's going to be awful, or do you kind of like have this low key, music ability that we don't know?
I'm excited you asked that question. I actually, I also come from a music family as well. My brother is an incredibly talented guitarist. He can play any country song you want. And then he also played the violin. He played the violin at my mom's wedding and a couple other weddings. And then he also played the national anthem for the Indianapolis Colts in 2011. Oh, wow. My sister also played the national anthem with him in 2011. And my sister was also very good at piano. So I grew up and I played piano for 12 years. And then I played the piano for 2. And I was like, yeah, this is too hard. So that's when I switched to sports.
Yeah, this piano's too hard. Let me try to hit 90, 95 on the black. And yeah, no, but still sounds like you got enough to be functional and get by if necessary, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go up there, play a couple Beethoven and Mozart, absolute bangers for you guys, get the crowd rocking. No, absolutely. I could play some Passover or something, but it's kind of like, it's a free time thing for me. Like if I'm ever bored and home alone, I'll just go try and like I'll pull something up on my phone. Because the nice thing I will say what stuck with me is I know how to read music. So I can at least go and try and learn something if I ever want to go learn something. So
Right.
that's
Right.
that's been cool to pick up.
Max Clark, musician. I like it. Um,
Yeah.
Favorite MLB player?
I'm gonna say two for two different reasons. So from a talent standpoint and kind of who I mirror my game off of and who I've been compared to, I have been on the Bryce Harper train since he was at JUCO. I think the way he came back last year after the way his fan base treated him and had an MVP caliber season, like that is really motivational to me. It definitely resonated with me. I also love the way he plays the game. He plays with a lot of flair, and he's going into like the people are starting to hate it, but I love it. Like because he never does anything towards people. He always does it towards his dugout, and that is super super cool to me. Like when you hit a 480-foot bomb, you're allowed to get hyped with your teammates. Like that is a nuke job. And then from a total flair standpoint and just kind of the way he goes about himself, Tim Anderson from the White Sox. That dude plays with the most passion I've ever seen in a person or a player. He does everything for his city, for his family, for his old teammates, old coaches, everything. And that has just been huge. And I love watching that. I think that's going to bring things to baseball that more people are going to start liking because he's very like cool flair. Like he walks in and people knows he's the baddest on the field. You know what I mean? Like that type of flair. Bryce Harper is like I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do and then I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to tell you again that I did it. And like you need a little bit of that. But then you also have the cool strut Tim Anderson. And I've kind of combined all of that into one.
Favorite place you've played outside of Franklin? We're going to keep the hometown out of that because I think that's probably your answer anyway. Is going to be somewhere there. So on the road, where's your favorite place to play?
Hoover Met Complex, East Coast Pro. That was insane. I would say that was the best competition I've played too. So just kind of the atmosphere mixed with the competition and the people that I played with. It was a 3-for-3. Count me in. I would go back and do that anytime. This year, hopefully I'll get a chance to go to San Diego for area code. Underclass was not at San Diego. We were at Loyola Marymount. So that was pretty too. But Cali was dope. So I'm hoping that San Diego looked amazing. In like all the videos that I saw. So I'm hoping they hosted at San Diego again this year. I think they are. And then I'm also excited to go to Tropicana for the PG National. I'm signed up for that. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm hopefully, as long as I show out at PG National, I'll get a chance to play in the PG All-American game, which is usually at a big league park. And I've yet to play at a big league park. I've played at Durham Bowl Stadium, which was really cool, except it was like 105 degrees that day. So that was a little rough, but super cool stadium. I've played at Victory Field, which is the AAA affiliate in Indianapolis. I'm trying to think of any other big leagues or affiliates I've played at. Oh, I play Hoover's. They play the SEC tournament there, so that was cool. They have all the SEC teams engraved in stone, and that was really cool to see. So those are definitely my favorite so far has been Hoover.
Yep. One thing on the bucket list.
Ooh, like from a baseball standpoint or from anything?
From anything. I mean, it can be. I wouldn't say no if that was the direction you want to go with it, but it doesn't have. Don't limit yourself. We don't limit ourselves here.
Okay, I'll do one in baseball and one normal. One for baseball. I want to make the national team. I've always wanted to win a gold medal. I got COVID last year during the tryout, and last year I had proved myself. I played very well in the trials, and I was pretty on point to making the squad. I wasn't going to get ahead of myself, but I felt very confident as long as I did what I was supposed to and took care of my business. But unfortunately got COVID, so I couldn't go. So that was another heartbreaker with USA. I'm currently 2 for 2 on heartbreakers, but I want to win a gold medal, and I want to play outside of the country. I think playing in a place like Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, I think that would be very eye-opening, and that's why I want to go. They say I was talking to one of my friends who played on the national team a while back. He got to see like where kids and adults train in the DR, and he said it was one of the most eye-opening but coolest things he's ever watched. Said the kids were there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day, playing games, taking fly balls. They were running their own practices better than like we run our practices here. And it was just a bunch of kids playing on a dirt field. Like that's a different type of passion that I want, and I have to see it to be able to like get that passion. So that's definitely on the bucket list. I want to go visit a like either like a minor league system that has a Dominican like clubhouse, because they have like centers there. That would be amazing. Anything out of the country, and I want to watch them play. And then like a normal bucket list, I want to go to every continent. That's been really random, I know, but I love traveling, so I
You're counting Antarctica
really
too.
want to. Yeah, oh yeah. I think if I have like Antarctica type of money, I would love to go and visit Antarctica. But right now, my dream is I want to go to Paris. I've always loved France, and like it's just dope. Like that, no other reason than it's cool. No connection, but that's the number one destination on my bucket list.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, you got a media crew. You got a big crew following you guys around this year, right? Tell us about that. Hype your boys a little bit. Give them some, some publicity here, whatever we want to say. But who's following you around? Where can we find our Max Clark content coming up? Hype whoever you want.
So for the main high school content, I would follow NA Films on Instagram. His name's Nathan Alexander. He's a senior at a local Catholic school here. He's going to Ball State to major in media, something with media, sports media, I'm sure. But he is doing a 10 to 12 episode of Franklin Behind the Scenes. So he's been working with me for the last 2 weeks and like my teammates too. So he would come to our practices, our little workouts at Powerhouse, my lifting sessions. He got all of my like interviews with the Indy Star. He got all of those on video, like live ABs, and then our first scrimmage game. He got content from all of that, and then he's gonna just do 15 guys be around me. So for that, NA Films. He also, that's where like most of my pictures come from on Instagram. For just like my self content, Youth Prospects will be out a few times. Their tags are Youth Prospects on all platforms. A Cole Films on Instagram. Another local student at at Franklin College. He plays football for Franklin College. He did some football stuff for me, and I invited him back for baseball because his content was great. He'll be doing a lot of the pictures for me. And then ink.tapes on Instagram. He has the most clout in Indiana for videography. He does like a lot of the like big AAU circuits on like the EYBL basketball league, the Under Armour one, the Adidas Gauntlet. He's done Peach Jam, like big tourneys. So NA Films and Ink Tapes are definitely the two biggest ones. And then Youth Prospects is the biggest one on YouTube. They have like 100,000 subscribers.
Awesome. We appreciate the time, Max. Again, thanks for coming on from down in Florida. People watching don't know the troubles we had to do to get this going on the air.
Absolutely.
Made a mistake of not should have been recording earlier and had some
that would have been a gym. Would have been a gym.
Yes, but thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in action this year, obviously. Let's crush it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I had a pleasure. It was an absolute dream to be on this. It was a lot of fun. Once we figured out a couple Wi-Fi and mic issues, but a pleasure.
We'll do this
Thank
from
you.
Indiana next time. We get a little bit better reception, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Let's have a great season, and we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you, my man.
Yep, that's it for today's edition of JBS. We'll see everybody out at the field.